Mambo. All right, that's a little bit Swahili. Habari. That's another Swahili for you. All right, guys, look, welcome to this lab. This is lab 2, and in this lab, we're going to be sniffing traffic using TCPdump and Wireshark. So TCPdump and Wireshark are like the same tools, but they differ because TCPdump is used on the terminal, and then Wireshark, it's a GUI-based tool. When I say GUI, I'm talking about graphical user interface. So there are places you can click and click and click and done. So if you ever heard about the term man in the middle, like a man in the middle attack and things like that, well, that's exactly what TCP/DAP and Wireshark do. They basically sit between two traffic or between two computers talking to each other, and they capture the traffic, and then they allow you to basically analyze that traffic. Right? You can do all kinds of things once you've captured that traffic. So what I will do is introduce you to these tools, right? Both of them. Then we're going to kind of run some TCP dump and sniff some traffic on the network, and then be able to kind of see what's going on. Then we're going to analyze it and see the hex and the ASCII data that's being sent between two machines. Then we're going to do something pretty cool that I really haven't seen anybody do on the labs. We're going to create a backdoor using what we normally call a Netcat. And then we will see how TCP dump will be able to capture that and be able to show us like what is going on. I will also take this back to a real world with an attack that have happened with Target. Target got breached back in 2014. If you've watched any of my content, you know I talk about these guys all the time. But guess what? The attacker were using they were using the HVAC system to be able to kind of exfiltrate, meaning stealing data from Target. But those data were going between the HVAC and the Target systems, the registers. They were in the form of a ping. Like literally, if you were the analyst looking at the traffic, all you were looking at was just a ping message. You see the HVAC system, meaning the AC system, pinging the register. Like literally just a ping going back and forth, back and forth. So here we are going to open those ping naked and then be able to see exactly what's inside of a ping so that we can see the kind of information that was taking place between, target registers and the HVAC system. Spoiler alert, there was a bunch of credit card numbers that were that was being stolen during that attack. But we're going to take a look at that. And then I'll introduce you to Wireshark. We do have a PCAP, meaning a Wireshark file that we're going to run and be able to see kind of what's going on. And we're going to do a little bit of a analysis on things like FTP, the file transfer protocol. And then we're going to do a little bit of analysis on things like a trivia file transfer protocol, or TFTP. Both of these protocols are used to send files or on the internet. FTP is for bigger files, and the trivia file transfer protocol is for small files. That being said, we have a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it. Okay, go ahead and bring up your hypervisor, your VMware workstation, and bring up your lab environment, right? So I got quite a few things here to turn on. First thing I'm going to turn on is your Kali Linux. That's the system we're going to use, Kali Linux. Go ahead and click on that. Mine is already running, but go ahead and click on that and then click on run or just turn it on. You can click right here and start the guest machine, and you know how to turn on these machines. And then click on Meta and then bring on Meta as well. You can just power on this virtual machine, right? So click on Meta and then power on this virtual machine. So we're going to make sure both of these are running, Kali and Meta, so that we can, hit the ground and running. So give it a minute for Meta to come up. As Meta is booting up, let's go ahead and sign in into Kali. If you remember, the username was Kali and the password was Kali. All right, go ahead and sign in. And it's going in, it's signing in. And then when that's done, which is pretty much done, let's go ahead and see if Meta is up and running. It's still loading. So let's give it that a little bit some time. As I'm waiting for Meta to come up, let me go ahead and bring up this terminal here. And let's make this a little bit full screen. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you'll be able to see my commands here. So let's go ahead and find the IP address. I'm gonna type in IPA. right? IPA to kind of find out my loop back, that's the loop back. This is the ETH0, interface 0. And then this is my IP address. So we're going to ping these two, make sure they're communicating, and then get started. So let's see if Meta is up. Yeah, Meta is up. And then we're going to sign in with our username of MSFadmin. All right, if you remember the username, and it's right there at the top of this line. So MSFadmin, press enter, and then MSFadmin again, press enter, and now we're in. And then we're going to ping the Kali. So ping 10.0.0.10. That's the Kali's IP address, if you remember. And it looks like they're communicating. I'm going to do Control C on the keyboard, Control C to stop the ping, right? And then if I do ifconfig here to find out my Meta's IP address, I should be able to see that it's .11. So it's 10.0.0.11, as you can see. Go ahead and get the mouse right there. There we go. As you can see right there, 10.0.0.11. That's our Meta's IP address. I'm showing you this because we're going to be playing with these numbers. And if you didn't write them down when you were setting up the whole lab, please do so. Let's go back to Kali and then ping the Meta. So let's go ahead and ping that, 4 times, just like we did last time. Press enter, and it's pinging just fine, right? So both of these machines, they're communicating okay, they're talking to each other, and everything is cool. So let's go ahead and clear the screen. We're in the Kali. I'm going to type in clear, then press enter on the keyboard. And here we are. So the tools that we're talking about, let me go ahead and close this library here so I can have a little room to work with. There we go. Better, right? So the tools that I'm talking about is TCPdump and Wireshark, which are both pre-installed in your Kali Linux, which is why we use Kali. So you don't really need to install anything because it's already installed. So let's go ahead and start working with TCPdump first. So first thing we're going to do is go to the help page and menu page or man page of TCPdump. So all you got to do really just type in man and then type in TCPdump, right? TCPdump, there we go. Press enter, and that's going to take you to the man page of a TCPdump. Well, why am I bringing you here? I'm bringing you here because you need to know where you're going to go to find help if you get stuck on anything. So here you can see these kind of a very common synopsis, like what we commonly use when we're using TCPdump. You can see all kinds of options here: -C for count, -R profile. We're going to use some of these. If you scroll down a little bit, you will see the description, and then you keep scrolling down. You can see -A for print each packets. You can see there we go, like the -X, which we're going to use to be able to kind of see additional information. -I, lowercase I for the interfaces and things like that. So these are the options. We're going to play around with some of these so that we can give our TCPdump superpower. So I just want to show you that. Let's go ahead and press Q on the keyboard to get out of here. And then type in TCPdump. Let's check out the help page, right? TCPdump help. Really? So again, you can always go to the main page and always go to the help page to kind of get the common things that you will use, in this case, TCPdump with. But you can do this with any command. If you get stuck at any time, either Google something or go to the main page or go to the help page of that particular command. All right, let's get right into the TCPdump. So first thing we want to see is the interface that are listed within our Kali. So we can say, hey, TCPdump. I want you to show me the interface, and that's with a -D. I want you to show me the interface that are connected on this particular Kali machine. And let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can be able to see this. So TCPdump went in and it's listing all the interfaces that are on this particular machine. We can see that we have ETH0, It's telling us this thing is running and is connected. You're going to also have any, which means we're capturing traffic from all the interfaces. We also have the loop back. We have the loop back, and there's some other, like Bluetooth and other things that we really don't care about right now. The interface we care about is that very first one and the loop back, because those are the ones that we are going to be playing with. Let me go ahead and clear the screen first, and then let's go ahead and start capturing some traffic. So go ahead and type in sudo TCPdump, right? Because you can't capture things unless you are running as a root, obviously. And then type in -I. You obviously put a space there, I for the interface, and then say ETH0, ETH0. You're saying basically, hey, I want to do this as the administrator. Hey, TCPdump, capture things on this interface right there. I'm going to press enter. It's going to ask us for our Kali password. Go ahead and type in that in, Kali. And then here we are. It's capturing the traffic. So if we were to open up another terminal, I'm going to go here and just click that. It's obviously start capturing things there without us doing anything. But if we open up another terminal, I'm going to leave that running and make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's go ahead and make it that a little bit bigger as well. So let me do that from here. There we go. And then let's go and change a color of this so that you can be able to see the difference. So go to Files, go to Preferences, and then right here where it says Appearance, you see where it says Color Scheme, you see Kali Dark, click on that, and let's just put a light on that thing. To apply that, click OK. Now we have this, lighter Kali. Let me go ahead and zoom in one more time here. There we go. And then let's start pinging something, right? And see how, TCPdump is going to start capturing this. So let's go ahead and ping Google. Ping google.com, right? Press enter. Now it's pinging Google, right? It's reaching out to Google. Be like, hey, Google, are you up? Hey, Google, are you up? As you can see, everything that's being sent right now is being captured in the TCPdump. So let's go ahead and press Q on our keyboard. Or no, Control C on the keyboard so that we can stop the ping. Control C on the keyboard so that we can stop the ping. And if we click back to this TCPdump here, we can see that there was some information that's being sent to Google, right? We can see that our computer right here, first of all, it starts with some kind of a timestamp when this was taking place, like what time. And then we can see that it came from this IP address, which is our computer, 10.0.0.10. It went to that location, which is basically reaching out to Google, and then is kind of sending ICMP packets. Now, we're going to kind of talk about this in a little bit, in more depth. But when you're pinging something, you're basically sending ICMP packets. That's the protocol. So it's reaching out and saying, hey, buddy, can we talk, right? It's sending like an echo request. And there's like the sequence number and the length and all that stuff. Then Google did respond. Google did respond and saying, hey, yeah, of course we can talk. So this is great, but this is really not that useful, right? So let's kind of open this up a little bit and be able to see a little bit more information. So let's go ahead and stop this capture right now. I'm going to do Control C to stop the TCPdump capture. Let's go ahead and clear the screen. Press clear or type in clear. And here we are. Let's go ahead and do another capture, but this time we're going in, we're trying to see additional information. We're gonna ask for the hex, and then we're gonna ask for the ASCII so that we can be able to see like what is taking place within the ping. So let's go ahead and do sudo again, TCPdump. Let me go ahead and finish the command here. TCPdump interface to the ETH0, but this time let's put a space, do minus again, and then we're going to do X for the hex, and then we're going to do capital A, capital X, and capital A. So capital X is for the hex, and then capital A is for the ASCII. SCSI, I don't know if I'm saying that right. And then let's go ahead and press enter. Now it's listening in again, but this time let's go ahead and ping our Meta 2. Let's go ahead and let me clear the screen from the other terminal here. But let's go ahead and ping the Meta machine. So we're going to go ahead and just type in ping. And this time, let's ping 10. If my computer will allow me to type 10.0.0.11, right? Our Meta machine. Press enter is pinging. It's pinging. There we go. There we go. It's pinging. So let's go ahead and stop the ping. Control C on the keyboard. So the ping has stopped. If we scroll up a little bit, now we get to see some additional information, some pretty cool information. But let me just scroll all the way up. There we are. You can already see some conversation taking place. So it's listening, it's capturing the traffic. It's coming from 10.0.0.10 network. I say network, but IP address, which is our Kali machine's IP address. It's going to this particular computer, which is our Meta machine, and it's obviously sending the ICMP and so on and so forth. Here is the iSCSI right here, but inside of the iSCSI, take a look at what got sent from computer of Kali to the Meta computer. What got sent? Take a look at this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So basically, every time you ping, right? Every time you ping another computer, this is what you're sending to the machine. You're sending either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or you're sending A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So basically, this computer Kali, requested to talk, basically reaching out to Meta, right? That machine right there, and asking, hey, can we communicate? Hey, are you up? Are you up and running? So to do that, it only sent out this, and then Meta responded. Meta responded with a reply, basically replying the same thing. So if we scroll down a little bit here, we should be able to see that here somewhere. Let me double check here. There was a lot of other things that were not needed that get sent back to us. But let's just see a regular request and a regular reply. There we go. Here we are. So this was a request again. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a reply, an echo reply that came back from Meta, as you can see, with the .11 right there, going to .10 right there, replying saying, hey, I am echoing whatever you just said, right? I'm basically kind of confirming to you that, hey, yeah, of course we can talk, right? I am up and running. So basically, this is what it is being sent between these two machines. So here's the beauty. When Target got breached back in 2014, when they got breached in 2014, which is a very popular case, Target breach of 2013, actually, but, became very famous in 2014. There we go. So this breach, it's a very, very popular one because hackers were able to get up to 40 million credit and debit records, like literally credit card numbers, got stolen from Target during this whole breach. I mean, you read up a little bit on it, and it's a little bit of fascinating story. Anyway, so what was happening when this was taking place? It was that the attacker reached out to the attacker hacked into the HVAC system, the AC system that control the air, the cold air that's running in the target buildings. And then from that AC system, they were able to ping, right? They were able to ping the registers, right? The machines that Target used to collect money. So you can imagine in the register, there were some credit card numbers in there. So first of all, there was a couple issue with that. One, why was the register talking to the HVAC? Literally talking to the AC system. What kind of business do those two have to be able to talk to each other? That was a failed network design. There should have been some segmentation, kind of making sure that, well, the AC system cannot be communicating with the HVAC. So putting that segmentation in place. But second, whenever you see two things are pinging to each other that we're not supposed to be pinging, as the analyst, you're supposed to question that. Be like, okay, hold on a minute. Why there's a lot of pinging taking place, right, between these two things that will normally not talk to each other? Number three is to literally go in there, analyze it, because within the target, within the ping, this is what was inside. So what the attacker did, they replaced the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the credit card numbers of customers. Yeah. So basically, when you're looking at the looking at the packets going between back and forth, you couldn't see it. But going in and looking at the ASCII and looking at the hex and things like that, you're able to see basically they're stealing credit card numbers. All right, let's keep going. All right, so go ahead and press enter here so that we can stop this. Go ahead and do Control C. I said enter, but Control C. There we go. So we can kind of stop the capture. Let's go ahead and clear the screen, right? And let's bring up the other terminal here, and let's go ahead and clear the screen. There we go. So we have two terminal here, and the screen is pretty much clear on both of them. So let's go ahead and open Netcat so that we can be able to see how you will see a traffic of two things communicating. In other words, what if somebody is stealing data, is exfiltrating data from your environment? Can you be able to see that? What if they reach out to a port that's not normally opened? Are you able to see that kind of things? Well, running TCPdump will kind of help us with that. So let's go ahead and do exactly just that. For this, we're going to need three terminals running. So we have one here, the main one. Then we have the second one here. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit smaller for us so that we can have a little bit of working room here. Let's go ahead and open another one. So I'm going to double click on that so we can bring up another one. And let's go ahead and change this other one color so that we have enough, so we can be able to tell the difference between these three. I'm going to change that to, let's just pick something like Ubuntu. All right, let's try that. There we go. Looks like Ubuntu right there. Let me go ahead and just zoom in. So now you can see we have about three terminals taking place. So we're going to create a listener. All right, we're going to use TCPdump to listening in. Again, type in into the main terminal here. Type in a sudo TCPdump. I can spell TCPdump right. TCPdump. That's I. This time, let's capture from the loopback, right? Just for the sake of it. It's basically the same thing. And let's keep the ASCII so we can be able to kind of be able to tell and see what was, what's taking place. So let's go ahead and start capturing. It's listening in. So let's go ahead and open that listener, the Netcat, from here. So what we're going to do in terminal one, think of the white terminal as terminal one. Let's go ahead and open the listener here. So we're going to type in NC for short for Netcat. And then we're going to say, hey, Netcat, connected to our local loopback. That's what we're listening on. So connected to 127, right? .0.0.1. This is home. If you ever seen anybody wearing a t-shirt that says 127.0.0.1 and then it says there is nothing like 127.0.0.1, basically they're talking about there's nothing there's nothing like home. Anyway, that's one of those memes that's out there on the internet. But anyway, so 127.0.0.1, it's your loop back, meaning is your own, your personal, your that particular machine. Every time you want to see if you can talk to yourself, that's the IP address that you use. Again, let's keep going. So you do that, and then you open some kind of an arbitrary port. We can open, for example, metasploitable port of 44444, right? Usually this port is used for metasploitable. So let's go and just open that up. I'm going to press enter. And then here it's saying the connection is refused. And the reason, this is actually a pretty good lesson. The reason is we're trying to connect to it before we open the port. But even that, you can see that the Wireshark here, I say Wireshark about TCPdump, has already captured some of this. So let's go ahead and fix that. Let's bring up the other terminal here, this guy, and let's open the connection from here instead of just trying to connect it to it before we open it. So let's go ahead and type in NC again, Netcat. Again, this is from the other terminal here, NC, and then we're going to say, hey, Netcat, from the loopback with -L, in this case, the -L is for the loopback. I want you to open port with the -P 4444. right? We're basically telling Netcat, hey, open this port up. We press enter. Now that port is open. If we go back to this guy, bring back the command, right, trying to connect to it, and then press enter, now these two are listening. Right now, there's an active connection that is taking place right now. This computer is talking to this computer. Again, I'm talking to myself here. But this could be like the attacker machine that's communicating to your actual machine. So here we can start saying, "Hey, send me the social security number." Right? There we go. So you tap that, it's gonna appear on the other end. Basically, Netcat is a way of stealing things, a way of exfiltrating things using arbitrary port. So we can open port that even your firewall, it's not gonna know that port it's open because it's not the normal, common port. So we can also do things like actually, let me just type in a few other things so you'll be able to see stuff. So SSN, the number, Africana is awesome. The African hacker. There we go. So basically, all I want to show you here is that everything we're typing in here, it's appearing here. And this machine could be a machine in Africa that is communicating with a machine in the US. And we can be capturing everything, we can be stealing things that the user are typing, and so on and so forth. So if we go back to the TCP dump here, we can see some interesting things. So back here, we should be able to see the information that was going between those two machines. And if we scroll up a little bit here and scroll down, we should start seeing this stuff that was sent. So look at this. Send me the social security number, right? With that kind of an evil voice. But you see that, and if you scroll down a little bit, you can see that Africana is awesome. So basically, it's going in this this TCP dump here. It's going in, it's capturing the information that is being sent between two machines. We could have done this with our Meta. We can do this with any computer around the world. As long as we can communicate with that computer, as long as we can connect it to it, we can be able to open a Netcat if that's allowed on that machine. But I just wanted to do it this way so that I can kind of make it a little bit easier for us as well. So this is not the only thing we can do with the TCP dump though. So let's go ahead and stop the capture. I'm going to go ahead and Control C on the keyboard, stop the capture. And then let's see a few other things that we can do with TCP dump. Let's go ahead and clear the screen here. I'm going to type in clear the screen. There we go. I'm going to stop using capital. Linux is case sensitive, so you have to use lowercase, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, Francois, got it. But what if I want to read files, or what if I want to capture the things that's being kind of captured into a file and not be able to have all that stuff displayed on my terminal here? So what you can do in that case, you can type in TCPdump. And then you can still say, hey, I want you to capture this on this interface, 80 in this case. And then you can say, -W for the write. And then we can just specify the file name. So let's go ahead and capture things and put those things into, what can we call this? Let's capture that and put that into cap.pcap. All right, let's call this capture one, right? Capture. All right, there we go. I have a better name, right? Let's put this into Wakanda. Let's call this Wakanda.pcap. There we go. All right, so we're gonna capture things, right? We're telling here TCP dump. I want you to keep an eye on this interface, capture everything that's going on this interface, then write it into this pcap file. So we're gonna go ahead and press enter. And then it's telling us again, we always make this mistake. You don't have the permission, which means I needed to type in sudo. I'm going to press the upper arrow key to bring back that command, and then go back there and then type in sudo. And now if I press enter, it's listening in. is listening in, but it's capturing everything and sending those things into this guy right there, right? So let's test that. I'm not going to bring up one of my terminal here. And it looks like uh, the Netcat is still here. So I can also just start typing in stuff. Say, hey, you are still listening. There we go. If we bring back the other Netcat here, is still listening. So let's go ahead and stop the Netcat capture. Let's go ahead and close this Ubuntu looking terminal. Let's just keep this one. Let's go ahead and clear the screen here, but let's go ahead and just ping. Let's go ahead and just ping again at the 10.0011 so that, you know, we can get more capture traffic coming in. There we go. That's being captured. We can also try to connect to that via FTP. Let's go ahead and try that. So let's go ahead and type in FTP 10.0011, right? This is for, you know, trying to, FTP is open on that meta. So let's go ahead and press enter. It say, hey, you trying to connect via FTP? Absolutely. Let's go ahead and type in MSF admin for the username. Again, we're connected to the meta, to this VSFTPD. So I'll press enter. I go, oh, what is the password for that MSF admin? I'm going to say MSF admin again. There we go. Now all that information have been captured. Literally, all that information has been captured inside of this Wakanda.pcap. So if we can just stop this, there we go. And then go right here and then do Control C. It's going in, it's telling us, hey, there was, you know, 48.7 packets that were captured, right? So we can read that. But before we do that, where is that? So let's do ls here. And you can see that this Wakanda pickup have been created inside of that same exactly directory. So what can we do in terms of reading this? So we can go ahead and just type in sudo TCPdump. We want you to read -r Wakanda.pcap. Simple as that. We press enter and voila, It went in, it started reading all these things. But what if we wanted to read this a little bit better, right? With the CISSP and so on and so forth. So we can bring back the command by pressing the upper arrow key on the keyboard, and then we can go ahead and just ask for the ASCII, right? We can ask the hex and the ASCII again and press enter. And now, check this out. Now it's looking a little bit better. Again, we're reading the same exactly thing from the terminal, right? From the terminal as well. And if we do a little bit of analysis, we should be able to kind of see the username and the password, but I'll save that for the Wireshark. I want to make sure you can see that from the kind of a Wireshark perspective as well. Since we're going to be kind of analyzing that exactly same traffic. But anyway, here you can, if you scroll down a little bit and start looking at this, you can start seeing that kind of the login was successful. There we go. There we go. The password was MSF admin. There we go. If we scroll up a little bit, we should be able to see the username and so on and so forth. Now with that, let's go ahead and dive into Wireshark. So let's go ahead and clear the screen. And then you can get to Wireshark in multiple ways. One, you can click the Kali logo and then search for Wireshark. Wireshark is always there. Or you can take a look in the favorites section. Wireshark is going to be there. Or you can just simply type in Wireshark on the terminal and then it's going to bring up your Wireshark. So let's go ahead and back to Kali logo and type in Wireshark and then bring up the Wireshark. So Wireshark, it's a GUI version of TCPdump. When I say a GUI, I'm talking about the graphical user interface. Basically, they do the same, but this one is a little bit prettier. It's a little bit prettier. The biggest difference between Wireshark and TCPdump is that TCPdump is very fast, right? And Wireshark, it's a little bit slow when you are analyzing bigger files or bigger pcaps. Anyway. So here we can do a few things. So let's go ahead and start capturing things from the ETH0. You can see the interface is 0. So if you double click on this, it's gonna run. Well, how do you know it's running? Well, that thing, it doesn't allow you to click on it, and that's the icon for you to start capturing things. And you can see that it turned green there. You can see that the stop icon is telling you, hey, you can stop at any time. But we can start generating traffic. So let's go and bring up the terminal here. There we go, and let me zoom in. Zoom in, there we go. And let's reach out to that to Meta, right? So let's ping 4 times. Let's ping four times Meta, right? Let's press enter. There we go. As it's pinging, the traffic is flowing in. There we go. Traffic is coming in. So let's go ahead and start and minimize that so we can take a look at Wireshark here for a little bit. And let me see if I can be able to zoom in here for you. Let's zoom in a little bit more so you get to see the traffic. There we go. Let's view, click on zoom in. There we go. Better. And let me just scroll down a little bit there. So I can sort of like mention what's going on here. So same thing, just like what we saw in the TCPdump, but this is a little bit prettier and it's color coded as well. So you can see that we have the timestamp, just like in TCPdump. We also have the source where the traffic came from with the .10, where it went for the destination with the .11, the protocol that was used, in this case, ICMP, the ping protocol, and they can see, hey, echo, basically ping, requesting stuff, saying, hey, can we talk, right? And then there was a reply that came back. If this thing will stop going up and down, let's go ahead and push that back up. There we go. And that's because it's still capturing. And then you can see there was a reply that's coming in, and because we pinged 4 times, you can see that there was like 4 requests and 4 replies coming in, right? Fantastic. So this is all great. This is all great. But what if you want to be able to analyze additional things? Well, let me go ahead and clear the screen here. Go ahead and clear the screen. If you look at the bottom, you can see this other section here that kind of give you a little more information. And as you click through your capture, you can see information sort of like changing. This is the hex, right? This is the hex, and this is the ASCII kind of information that tells us exactly what was taking place. But in the left-hand side, this is where you see the TCP/IP or the OSI model, kind of a breakdown of the traffic of the packets. And you can see on a layer 1, again, if you don't know your networking, maybe you should learn some networking. You see we have some frames here taking place, but you can see also we have the Ethernet. This is where the layer 2 is. So right there, we can see we have some kind of a MAC addresses taking place right there. In this case, is a VMware because that's what we're using. And on layer 3, right there on layer 3, you can see we have some IP, internet. So the source is this guy in that particular reply. If we go to the request, you can see that the source was the 10.00.10, the destination was 10.00.11, right? And then you scroll down a little bit, again, you can see the internet control messaging protocol. In this case, there's really not much to see here because in this case, we were just pinging. There's no actual data. But if there's some data, you can see some of it here. Right? Not a whole lot, but some of it here. But the way you see additional stuff is by clicking on it and then follow. In this case, it doesn't show us anything, but it could show us if this was like a TCP traffic, it will show us, hey, follow TCP stream or follow HTTP or follow with some kind of a protocol. In the case of a ICMP, it's not showing us anything and kind of makes sense. But let's see if we can be able to follow this. These are just generic traffic that got generated. So if we follow, there we go. It can show us to follow UDP stream. So we click on that. It takes us all the way back here, and there's really nothing to see there, right? So let me go ahead and stop the capture. Can click on stop the capture, and let's see if we can read. Let's see if we can read the capture that we captured earlier with the TCPdump. So let's go ahead and shut down this Wireshark. So close it, click on close, and then quit without saving. Right? We don't want to save any of this. There we go. And that should take us back to the terminal. So let's go ahead and type in Wireshark here. Wireshark. All right. And now let's point that to the Wakanda pickup that we've captured, right? The Wakanda pickup. So if we press enter, Wireshark is going to open that particular pickup that we have captured. And this is it. This is what we've captured earlier. So let's go ahead and analyze this for a second. Again, we can see the ping that we did earlier, but we also did additional things. We did FTP. So here we can start playing around with the Wireshark display filters. So we can type in FTP. Basically, we're saying, hey, just show me FTP traffic. We can also ask this guy to show us ICMP, for example, and then just show us the ICMP. The filter gets really advanced very quickly. Depending on how deep you want to go with Wireshark, this is where all your knowledge, all your Wireshark guru knowledge will be in filtering traffic. So let's go back to FTP. By the way, Wireshark also offer like a certificate if you just want to kind of go all in. I would not recommend it unless like you literally work day in and day out with the Wireshark. I will not recommend it. Anyway, so let's take a look at the FTP traffic. So we go here, we can see that there was some traffic that was taking place. And if we were to right click on this, go to follow, right? Follow and TCP stream. We start seeing some juicy information. First of all, we can see that this is the tool, right? This is the tool that is running on the Meta. And then we can see that this particular user did sign in, right? Signed in as MSF admin and then signed in, and the password with the password was MSF admin. And then we can see that the login was successful. So now we can confirm this is the right username and the right password. And that concludes our lab. I will see you all in the next lab.